Hello, my dears. Daniela here, and welcome to the Spa Marketing Made Easy podcast. This episode is brought to you by Addo Aesthetics, the #1 coaching company for aesthetic professionals wanting to step into the role of spa CEO and build a business around a life you love. And today we're going to do something a little bit different than we usually do. So as many of you know, we have a program called Growth Factor. Currently, we've got about 100 or so spa owners in there, all doing incredible things. And our Growth Factor framework, what we're teaching in this program, it's made up of 4 core phases of business that need to be completed so that you can scale. Scale is kind of the 5th once you go around the circle, right? So the first phase is the sales phase, because if you're not making money, you don't have a business, right? I mean, that's why we're in business. We've got to make money. We've got to earn a livelihood. So what we like to do in the program is take a look at how we can create strength and stability in the financials, because as a business owner, I don't want you just making money in your business. I want you to actually be paying yourself a living wage. And to do that, your business needs to be making money. Okay. So we break down revenue into 3 different categories. So there's standard, there's recurring, and there's promotional. And standard revenue this is your walk-in clients, your pre-book clients, the revenue generated from sales funnels. It's this kind of one-time revenue that comes in month to month, but it's not predictable. It's not guaranteed to come in the next month. So recurring revenue comes from memberships or subscriptions. So if you have someone joining your membership, if you have a membership, you likely have some type of commitment. So it's either a 3-month, a 6-month, even a 12-month commitment, and then goes month to month after that. So you know with reasonable certainty that you have that money coming in. It's predictable cash flow, which really makes life so much easier to plan and also increases the value of your business should you ever decide that you want to sell. That's your cash flow, right? Different than your cash. Subscriptions are those of you that are doing e-com. If you have your clients say they subscribe and every 8 weeks they're shipped their product, right? It's something that's recurring. So memberships and subscriptions are recurring revenue. Promotional revenue comes from events. So if you're doing a Black Friday event, if you're doing an evening of beauty, if you're doing a peel party, these can be in-person or virtual. We've seen great success, 5-figure events with both models, okay? But essentially promotional is a burst of income coming into your business. Now in Growth Factor, we do trainings on sales funnels, on memberships, and on events, and to really capture those, right? So again, just a recap, standard revenue comes from sales funnels, recurring revenue comes from memberships, promotional revenue comes from events. Those are the 3 types. So when we're holistically looking at how the revenue is coming in, we want a combination of all 3 of those. And it's not going to happen overnight. Typically, when someone goes through Growth Factor, they're choosing one. We ask that you choose one. So either build a sales funnel or launch a membership or host an event, right? Because we want you to do it well. And I did a spontaneous Facebook Live in our private Facebook group on some of the basics for funnels. And that's actually what I want to share with you guys today. So, we have some higher level trainings in there. We have a lot of tech and how to, but in this Facebook Live, I just wanted to reiterate what the heck a funnel actually is. So please keep in mind, this was a spontaneous Facebook Live. I wasn't using my fancy podcasting mic, so you will notice a difference in the sound quality, but that really doesn't matter. I want you to hear the content, and hopefully it can help you gain clarity around funnels and what makes them successful, what we're looking for. Because I know when I first started dipping my toe into the world of digital marketing, funnels were just so foreign for me and such a hard concept to grasp. It made me feel like I just had no idea what was going on. So I wanted to share this Facebook Live to really help those of you that want to understand like how a funnel works, how do I make my offer, etc. Okay. So if you have questions, be sure to post them in the Spa Marketing Made Easy Facebook group. Tag one of our coaches. They're, have their name and then Team Addo. They're more than happy to help. But I hope you enjoy this. I hope that it helps. And here's to building incredible funnels. Hey guys, good morning. So excited to talk to you today I wanted to follow up from yesterday because we are in the sales phase. And in the sales phase of the growth factor framework, we're looking at where your revenue is coming from. So as we talked about in the prep stage, we were looking at, does your business have the 3 types of revenue: standard, recurring, and promotional, right? So with a sales funnel, we're going to talk about sales funnels, we're going to talk about memberships, and we're going to talk about promotional events. And with a sales funnel yesterday, when we were talking about really how you can go deeper and how you can incorporate them throughout the entire client journey, not just to get people on your books, but to really increase that lifetime customer value and get it to the point where you're generating testimonials, where you're encouraging people to refer additional clients to you, where you're understanding who the people are that are really engaged in your list. But in this video, I wanted to just step back for those of you that may be newer to funnels, that just need a more step-by-step look at what funnels actually are, specifically a sales funnel. Because by the end of the sales phase, I'm going to ask every single one of you to either build or launch your membership, build a sales funnel, or host a promotional event. Okay. And this is what we're going to be using our 90-day planners for. So we're going to decide what in our business needs, what type of revenue does our business need? What makes the most sense with our business model? Is it a sales funnel? Is it a membership? Is it a type of promotional event? Okay. So we're doing these trainings first, then we're going to help you decide what it is that you're wanting to implement in your business. And then we're going to use those 90-day planners to really put a plan into action to get those things going. So it's important for me to really give you guys clarity on the step-by-steps of what a funnel actually is. Okay. So when we're talking about a sales funnel, and a sales funnel as a way to automatically get people on your books, we're talking about a landing page. So it's typically a Facebook ad to a landing page, to a thank you page, to an email nurture sequence that's encouraging those people to book. We want to get people on our email list, which is quite a bit of what Tobin was talking about yesterday and talking about list hygiene, all super, super important and incredibly valuable things. But to get people on the list, the part of the way that we do that is by building the funnel, right? So when I say a landing page, I'm talking about a one-page website. So part of the reason that Facebook ads fail is because people send traffic directly to their booking page. And there's been so many tests in marketing magazines, and there's been so many tests with just marketers around the world, that we know that us as human beings have an attention span shorter than a goldfish. And so if we send someone directly to a booking page on our website, there's too many things that they can look at. There's so many things that are going to capture their attention. So a landing page is a one-page website. It typically has name and email. So there'll be a headline, a sub-headline that's like, if we're doing an offer that's get a complimentary underarm wax with any Brazilian, that would be the headline. And then the sub-headline would be something about looking smooth or feeling smooth, or some kind of like something about the benefit. And then you want to have your call to action. So enter your name and email. We would have your logo, there'll be an image, and then your copyright on there. I'm going to post a couple of links of landing pages examples in the comments section of this when I'm done doing this training, so that you guys can see, okay, this is a landing page. And I'll just walk you through step by step one of the many funnels that we have operating in place, so that you guys can understand and have a visual of what that looks like. Okay. So if you are going to choose to build a sales funnel in your business, you will want to have a landing page. When someone enters their name and email, it's going to send them to a thank you page. And then from there, it's going to get them on the email list. And that email list is you're going to be sending them an automated sequence, okay, to encourage them to book whatever it is your offer is. So the thank you page is simply just saying, thanks, we got your email, or we got everything, check your inbox. And then when we're encouraging someone to book an appointment with us, or purchase product with us, whatever our funnel, whatever our outcome actually is, we want to have a specific checkout page. We want to make sure that we're showcasing the value. We want to have, if there's any type of guarantee, anything like that, testimonials, anything to let our people know that they are making the right choice in booking a facial or service with you, with your business. Okay. So in spa, if you're doing something that I've seen working really well in spa, especially if you're doing e-com, if you're wanting to drive traffic to your checkout page for products, is a quiz funnel. So doing a quiz funnel, there's an example on of me, and I'll post that link as well. But it's asking different questions to get a personalized treatment plan. I've seen this on Function of Beauty as well. So asking questions about, do you have dry skin? Do you have oily skin? Do you wear a lot of makeup? Do you like all these different questions to try and understand. And then it's pre-programmed out to say, these are the best products for you. And the Function of Beauty quiz, that's really cool. It basically will put those products immediately in your cart. And the less clicking that anyone has to do, any client has to do, the easier that you can make it for them, the higher the conversion rate is going to be. Okay. So the most important part of the entire process in building a funnel is understanding your offer. So you want to understand, what is the ultimate goal of your funnel? Are you trying to get new clients? Are you trying to sell products? Are you trying to build a wait list for an event? If you're moving into education, are you trying to sell a course or tutorial? Even if you're not moving into education in the sense of becoming a coach, I know people that have done makeup tutorials. And so they'll sell, like, here's how you do a smoky eye. And it'll be like a $20 e-course that your clients can purchase from you. So think about all these different things. You want to understand, what is the ultimate goal? What are you trying to do with the funnel? Most of our students in Growth Factor are trying to get their new hires busy. And so what they'll do is build a funnel out that they can be funneling all of the new clients that they're targeting specifically to their new hire. Okay. So when you're coming up with your offer, you want to ask yourself, who is this for? Who am I trying to target? What problem does it solve? What are the benefits of purchasing? What is the price, and what is the perceived value? Okay. So all important questions to ask yourself. So if your goal is to get new clients, you may have a free download that is the ultimate guide to skincare, everything you need to know for glowing, radiant skin. And it can be a PDF. This can be something that you make in Canva, that you are, saying, hey, download this. You get on the list. We'll send you this free PDF. I'm sure that you guys have gone through funnels, maybe without even realizing it, of downloading some type of PDF. The offer then is going to be 20% off your first service. So when you're sending them that, here's all the tips for ultimate glowing, radiant skin. One of the things that will be in that guide is getting a facial or getting a particular treatment at your spa. So it might be talking about chemical peels, for example. And so then you can offer them in the email 20% off your first chemical peel. Then what I would do is, when they come in, if you're launching a membership, if you have a membership, right, here's how you really cohesively get it all together. You say, oh, well, if you join our membership, this is your price year round. right? Your initial 20% off was the promo, but if you join our membership, that will always be your price. Okay. So always be thinking about what that end in mind piece is. Now, when a lead opts in and starts to receive the nurture sequence, you want them to feel like you are speaking to them directly. That is why we want to make sure that we know who this is for. You're going to speak to a 40-year-old mom of two very differently than you're going to speak to a 20-something that lives in, Manhattan. What's the app that adds the product during the quiz? So there is, Beth, we have a link. I'll tag Giselle because there's a link of a quiz software that we recommend, and I think it's free. If it's not free, it's very, very, very low cost. And I will have her post it in there. I think it's called Try Interact. But I'll have her check for you and we'll post it in the comments. So when a lead opts in, like the copy that you're writing, and this is why it's so important to either learn how to write copy yourself or hire a copywriter. We all have to know our strengths, and I will do copy to a certain extent, but I know that I am an over explainer. And when we're writing emails, someone's not going to want to read a 10-page email. You want to get to the point as quickly as possible. And so I would go through and make sure that each email has one point, one thing that you're trying to convey to them. And that might be book your appointment. That might be, click this link, whatever it is. But you want to make sure that email nurture sequence follows a pattern. We recommend, and the way that we use it ourselves, is gain, logic, fear. So the first couple of emails are going to be, imagine, like if it's chemical peels, right? Imagine how great your life is going to be when you don't have to wear makeup. You can just put on some lip gloss and mascara and you're good to go. You're going to save so much time. Imagine what it's going to be like to not worry about people sitting on the side of you if you have acne, right? And we're like clearing up the acne. What are the benefits that we're talking about? What are they going to gain? The logic portion of the email nurture sequence is specifically, what is a chemical peel? What are the acids that are used? What's the pre and post care? So it's the how to, what's included in the offer, the very just straight to the point, what is this? And then fear is, imagine, it's like, do you still want to be in the same place 6 months from now? Do you still want to, spend all that time getting ready? Do you still want to feel insecure? So really breaking down the email nurture sequence in those 3 chunks helps to not only hit every type of personality, because some people are going to do something just because the Kardashians do it. Some people want to know the step-by-step. Like my husband, for example, he's pure logic. He doesn't care about the gain. He doesn't care about the fear. He only wants to know the logic, right? So when we do all 3, it's a really great way to capture a wide audience, but also answer different objections that people are looking for. Okay. So something that I also think is really, really important is ensuring that your funnel looks branded. When you are using a software, so let's say that you're using ConvertKit. ConvertKit is something that we recommend as a email service provider. They also do visual automations. They have landing pages. They have thank you pages. It's super easy to use that software to build funnels. Okay. So when you're building that, you want to make sure that you're using your fonts, that you're using your colors, that you have your logo, so that if someone goes to your website versus your funnel, and also if they're going to a landing page and a thank you page, it still looks very branded with your company. We want them to not have any type of confusion in what it is that what business they're working with. Something that works really well, and Giselle on our team is excellent with this, but doing a branded photo shoot just for that particular funnel. And these are things that, I definitely feel awkward trying to figure out how to pose for different photos. We have a Pinterest board on our Addo Aesthetics Pinterest account that gives a whole bunch of different poses to get some inspiration. Again, you can talk with Giselle during office hours. She's great at this, but if you have a particular offer, doing a photo shoot, and this can be like your timer on your phone, get a tripod and use your timer and take some photos. But that is a great way. So checking out our Pinterest board, and then also as you're going through Instagram, just save some images of posts that you're like, oh, that's a good pose. That's a good pose, right? So that's going to be a great way to build up a library of images of yourself, of your spa, to be able to be used on your landing pages instead of just using stock photos. Then the question that we get a lot is like, once your funnel's built, how do you fill it? How do you get people in there? What do you do? Where do you post it? And there's social media. So you want to have the link to your landing page inside of your social media account. So if you're using Linktree, or if you just have it as your link in bio, you can do a social media post, like a Facebook post with the link there. You can have it on your website. If you're doing a blog, you can, how blogs will have like breaks in between, click here for this. So you can have it as a pop-up on your website. You can do a Facebook ad. There's a lot of ways where you can be posting this. Now, Instagram with stories, you have, I believe everybody has the link option. You don't have to have the 10,000 followers to be able to have the link, but that's a great way to put a link in there. Also, doing an Instagram story ad is much less expensive than a conversion ad. Okay, so ads are a little bit wonky this year, but test out and see what is going to be the most cost effective for you. So if you're using social media, you can do Facebook events, you can do Facebook groups, you can do Facebook posts, you can do Facebook ads. Pinterest post linking to a blog. You can do on your website a pop-up. You can have a resource page. You can have a link in the blog post. If you have a podcast, that's a great way. You can be interviewed on other people's podcasts. And when they say, where can we find you and follow you, say, hey, I have a link here, and it's going to be the landing page, to get a special offer. You can do direct messages on social media. You can speak at events and share the link. There's lots of different ways that you can be sharing this link to your landing page. Now, what if your funnel is not converting, right? It's very, very rare that you are going to have a funnel that you build and on day one, it just starts converting, okay? If it were that easy, there would be a lot more people doing it. A funnel is something that takes work. It takes tweaking. It takes looking at the data and analyzing the data and understanding your conversion rates and what should be expected. So first, you need to look at the percentages and not the actual numbers. That's really, really important. So average conversion rates are anywhere between 2 to 10%. Okay. And I know that's going to sound really low. But if you say you have 100 people look at your offer, anywhere between 2 to 10 people converting is good. Okay. So a landing page conversion. So when someone goes, like, let's say you have a Facebook ad to a landing page. If your Facebook ad sends 100 people there and 40 of those people enter their name and email, that's great. That is what you're shooting for. Okay. Then of those 40 people, 2%, and let me just tell you that real quick, 2% converting times 0.02. So it would be one person opting in would be good. So when we're looking at our goals, you may say, oh my gosh, I only had one person convert. Well, how much traffic are you actually getting to that funnel? That's the question. That's the thing that we want to look at. So people often give up too early because they haven't got their numbers right, or they're looking at their numbers instead of the actual conversions, and they think they have a problem with the funnel, and it's actually a problem with how many people, how much traffic is actually getting to that funnel. Okay. So it's always good to remember to test and tweak. Now, email open rates are, let's see. When we're sending out an email for a new offer, let's say you have 1,000 people on your list and maybe you have a 25% open rate. So the lower your list, typically the higher your email open rates. As your list grows and grows and grows, the open rates go down and down and down. Average email open rate for spa is around 10%. So if you have a higher percentage, you're doing great. But just know that it's normal that as you increase the number of people on your list, then it's going to go up. Also, if everybody on your list is a client, you're going to have a higher open rate. But what we're trying to do here is get people who are not clients, get people who are potential clients, and convert them into clients. So that can be something that can be misconstrued a lot. People will think, oh, I have such a high open rate, but it's really, we need more list diversity because it's all those people already know, like, and trust you. We're wanting to use our list to convert more people into clients. So when we're also looking at like, hey, what is going on with my funnel if it's not converting? If you're not hitting your numbers, 99% of the time, your offer is off or the copy is not clearly explaining the offer. Okay. Those are the things that we look at and say, okay, like, does this offer make sense? And sometimes we are so in something ourselves that it can be incredibly challenging to see, because the offer makes sense to us, but we have to ask someone that's not in spa, someone that doesn't understand our business in the way that we do. So that looking at that, asking your friends, your family, like, does this make sense? Does this sound like an incredible deal? Is this clear, everything that you're getting? We also, if you guys want to do a hot seat with a funnel review, I'm happy to do that. Just make sure that you're submitting your landing page in the form, and I will review that for you. Okay. Now, the offer needs to be an irresistible offer. It needs to be a no-brainer. Okay. So that is like when we're talking about a no-brainer offer, you're going to go back to the questions that I was asking earlier. So who is this for? What problem does it solve? What are the benefits of joining and purchasing? What is the price and what is the perceived value? Okay. So really focusing on coming up with a crystal clear offer of what it is that you're wanting to accomplish out of building this funnel. The other question that I'll add on there as well is, if you're looking to get new clients, so this is like, who is this for? You may have an offer that you only want shown to cold traffic. And when I'm talking about cold traffic versus warm traffic, cold traffic is anyone who has no idea who your company is, right? So when we're doing Facebook ads, what we'll do is exclude anyone who has been to your website, anyone who's on your email list, anyone who likes your social media pages. And there's always going to be, there's a possibility that people will kind of trickle through, but you'll get 99% people that have no idea who you are. That is called cold traffic. So you may want to have a first-time client or some kind of promo for that you're promoting specifically to cold traffic. And then you would say, okay, well, I'm going to only promote this through this Facebook ad. You would not have that on your website. You would not have that in a pop-up or not be sharing that on social media. You can also have a separate funnel that's just for your VIP clients, right? So really think about like, what am I trying to do here? Am I trying to increase lifetime customer value by getting my existing clients to come in more frequently, to spend, increase average cart value? Or am I trying to build up the number of clients that I actually have because I'm hiring and expanding and growing in that way? So always look at those things. Okay. I hope that this is helpful. I'm going to post a training that I did in the members area that is walking you through how to build a funnel and how to come up with your offer inside of ConvertKit. For those of you that want to see that, I believe it was a 3-hour training. So just kind of prepare yourself, but it was really us going into ConvertKit, building the landing pages. Like, it's a lot of screen share. It's actually seeing how this works. So for those of you that want to play around with ConvertKit, want to play around with building the funnel, watch that first and see what it is and see what it takes. We talk a lot about offer in that training as well. So, look at that and then let me know if you guys have any questions. So again, below this video, I'm going to post links of landing pages to give you some examples. I'll post the link to the quiz. But I really want you guys to have a holistic view of what it is to build a funnel, what is possible. So using this Facebook Live, using the training we did yesterday with Tobin, using the several hour training that I did inside of ConvertKit, and then also making sure that you're utilizing myself and my team to give you feedback on your offer and what it is that you're trying to create. Okay. So we are here to support you. We are here to help you decide what is going to work best for your business. So make sure to take advantage of that. All right. Thank you guys so much. And I will talk with you very soon.